Well, hey again. It's been about a month since my last video. I've just completed the first cycle of chemo, and tomorrow I'll start the second cycle. So I was going to talk a little bit about more or less what was happening during that first cycle of chemotherapy, and also I was going to backtrack a good bit and talk about making my mask for radiation therapy that never did happen, luckily, I think. But so going back to that, this is before I transferred to Sloan. I'm still dealing with Hartford, and so I'm kind of working with two doctors at the same time. I was getting a second opinion still at New York, and still moving forward in possible treatment with Hartford. So I was talking to the radio oncologist, and she has me set up to make this appointment to make this mask. The mask takes like a week or something to fully cure. And I saw some of them. They look really weird. They look like a complete mask that covers your head with a bunch of holes in them. It looks like it's white plastic, and the noses are real long, really nose. And one of the texts called it witch's peak, witch's perk, or witch's nose, or something like that. But so when I went to make that, one day they put me on like sometimes CAT scans and MRIs, they can be kind of claustrophobic when you're getting a mask made over you while you're in a CAT scan. It's definitely a claustrophobic moment, so they made sure I had some anxiety medicine in me just in case. But so they go to the CAT scan room, and they fill you with, I probably mentioned before, contrast fluid. MRIs, it gets into your system fairly quick, but CTs, they use a different contrasting fluid. Who knows what it is? It takes around 10 minutes to get into your system. And it just so happens that's how long they need to be boiling this mask with a chronic face. And so also bear in mind, this is probably 3 weeks after my surgery, so I just had my staples taken out, so my cut's still real fresh. I'm still babying, that barely touched it when I washed my head and so they inject me that contrast, and it tastes a little bit different, but it has a warm feeling all over it, tingling feeling, and a taste and a smell to it. It feels kind of weird. It's always an odd sensation when they put that contrast in you. So you're just sitting there on a CAT scan table waiting for 10 minutes for the fluid to get into you, for them to finish boiling this mask. And anybody who plays football, it's kind of like boiling the mouthpiece for it to fit your teeth. It's very similar. So they lay me down where the CAT scan, and they put me in place, and the lady quickly takes it from the water and puts it on my face, and there's no explanation, no talking, no nothing. She just grabs it and slams it down across my face, and it was really abrupt, and it actually wound up lifting a little bit of skin on my face, so I was a little bit about, but no big deal. But it's weird because when it's coming on your face, it looks like a solid piece of plastic because you can barely see any holes, but as it spreads, those holes open up, and they quickly pull it away from your nose to make you able to breathe. But which I can see being concerning. It really wasn't that big of a deal. I could breathe easily even before she pulled it from my face. But it's just in case. It's probably better. It really wasn't that big of a deal. The CAT scans are quick again. They in that time they were taking the CAT scans, they were putting markers on that mask, and the mask serves two purposes, I believe. Is they take a CAT scan of everything with those markers, again using it as a reference, kind of like they were during surgery, but also keeps your head still, so whenever they're shooting radiation around, they don't accidentally come down and hit an eye, and all of a sudden you got one. So I'm trying to be real still for this one. It's real important. Keeps on people like almost falling asleep. That's how much it's really wasn't bothering me too much. If I'd be falling asleep, my mouth would be open, so I'd be thinking I'd be moving the mask too much, or close my mouth. I'd be wanting to close my mouth, no, leave it alone, or whatever. But so luckily, as it cools, it takes like a week to cure. It actually will keep them shrinking down. But ultimately, it didn't matter too much because I'm not doing radiation, at least not yet. And hopefully it won't be for a long time, and hopefully we'll make another mask before we go through that, if we go through that. Yeah, I thought it was kind of unique. It was a little bit different, having a mask shoved on your face. I got one sitting somewhere in Hartford, just in case. Anywho, So this month, I'm about to start my second cycle of chemotherapy, a drug called chemo. The first cycle was 5 days on and 23 days off, almost a month per cycle. But they kind of found out, it feels like they got it down pretty packed. I can tell that the drug is out of my system right as they're about to give it to me again, which is good. It feels like they might know what they're talking about. One thing to note, I've been on chemo for a month and I still have a whole lot of hair. I might have mentioned it before, but that's one of the neat things about this particular chemo drug is it doesn't make you lose your hair, which makes you worry, is it that effective or as effective? Because if it killed cancer better, I'd shave my head in a heartbeat. But it's the one that they use for this, so this is just a bonus. So I still have my hair, so that's good to hear. Nausea wasn't too bad. They were giving me a nausea pill that I would take 30 minutes to an hour before I would take the chemo. And I would have to fast 2 hours before. They're trying to. Sometimes they tell you to eat things with food. This one here, they tell you to more or less empty your stomach to help with nausea. So I would take the nausea medicine 30 minutes to an hour before, not eating anything 2 hours before, take the medicine, and then more or less go to sleep. That way you're fasting before and then after. And first day was nothing at all. The second day, I would have a wave of nausea during the day, not actually when I was taking the pill, which wasn't too bad. It was kind of like that for the next 2 days, and then the fourth and the fifth, the last day, as I started getting nausea, kind of a little bit more around the clock. I actually started taking my nausea medicine. I take it up to 3 times a day. I started taking it at least, started taking it twice a day then, and for I'll say probably about a week afterwards, still had nausea throughout the day. So it was affecting me even when I wasn't taking the pill. But it wasn't too bad, and I did find out that the nausea isn't a cumulative thing. So kind of what I felt for that month is kind of what to expect, and it wasn't fun, but it wasn't anything that would make me hesitate from doing it again by any means. I don't know any of the numbers on my blood count, but I know that they never were bad. But that is one that is cumulative, though. I believe it is kind of like a seesaw effect. Like the chemo drug is just about all out of the system now, so they're about to put some more in there. So I believe it does drop it, and then your white blood cells and red platelets go up again. But I do believe that overall it does downgrade for the throughout the 6 months of the chemo treatment. But luckily it didn't collapse right away, so I don't know what those numbers are. I should probably get more detail on that just for more information. But they really want that bad, which is good. I did get slightly sick. I got a real mild chest infection just about a week ago. I got thrown out muscular with augmentin, as it's called. Really no big deal though. The other symptoms, a weird one that's happened as soon as I started taking this Timidar, I started, my smell changed a good bit, and it smells like I'm smelling incense of all things. My wife says I'm smelling angels, I'm smelling prayers, but I guess of all the things you gotta smell, it beats some things. Incense ain't too bad, but it's not a constant thing. I smell just fine, just every now and then I smell incense. And it kinda came with the Timidar too, so that kinda went away, and I'm sure as soon as I get back on it. The other weird one, I'll try to keep this family friendly as I can, but all matters of waste that I'm producing has a really, really negative smell to it. And looking up the side effects to Timidar, chemo drug, that's not listed. So that's kind of throwing me for a loop a little bit. I was talking to nurses about it and doctors about it, and they're just saying it's just the smell of the medicine as it leaves your body, but I would have thought that would have been listed as a side effect, because this is substantial. So I'm convinced that's the smell of tumor, so let's hope and pray. What else was there? Oh, so the other thing that wasn't there, and they warned me about this, is this drug does constipate you. So they gave me all kinds of stuff. Most of it, I believe, is over the counter, but softeners and laxatives. And preemptively I'm taking this stuff, and while I was on it, I was taking everything I could for that, and I felt like I was just barely breaking even. So luckily they warned me for that. That could have been problematic. But overall, it wasn't bad. It nausea was the biggest pain, and whenever you have nausea, it's just in general overall feeling not feeling good, but it's not too bad. It was primarily in the waves. Other things that felt good is prior to this, I would have twinges of headache in my head. Nothing like before I had my surgery. Those headaches got to the point where they were just about blacking you out for pain. These were just slight twinges, and those kind of went away when I was on this, so it kind of just makes me feel better about it, that it definitely felt like there was something changing in there. Also, my understanding of what the trial was changed a good bit, because it sounds like they're going to have the MRI next month. So I thought it was going to be 3 treatments MRI, 3 more treatments MRI. But it sounds like it's the 3rd trip MRI, which is different. It's kind of weird. I had to explain this to the doctors a few times. I was like, well, I've had 1 cycle of chemo, and then I'm going to have a 2nd cycle of chemo, and then you're going to give me a MRI on the 3rd visit. Well, that's just 2 cycles. I had to explain that twice to him. But that MRI is really, really big, because that's going to show how this tumor reacted to those 2 cycles of chemo, not 3, 2 cycles. And all the indications from the pathology course is that it should be reacting well, from my perspective, to chemo. So, so they need to see that it is reacting well in order to stay in that trial. And just in general, it would be good to see this thing shrinking. There are some out there where chemo, it doesn't do much to them. They're fairly chemo resistant, and so that would be bad to hear. So please, everybody, keep praying, and I know that helps. And so there's another pivotal moment of finding out exactly what we're dealing with. So I guess that's about it. First chemo cycle is not bad, and the second one I'm sure won't be bad. And I'll certainly let everybody know how that next MRI visit goes. And I guess I'll talk to y'all later. God bless.